Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to be doing a deck profile on a deck that I rebuilt a couple months ago and I've been playtesting, and I really enjoy this deck. It's a really fun deck to play. I haven't touched it in a long time, but it's been really awesome. And that is my Felgrand deck. Now this is not just a pure Felgrand deck, this is not Felgrand Blue Eyes. This deck particularly is a Felgrand Shaddoll structured Shaddoll deck. So it's a combination of Felgrand and Shaddolls, which is really awesome. So pretty much the combination of two structure decks, which is really cool. But this deck focuses on going for level 8 Exceed plays, as well as going for the Shaddoll fusions, which is really awesome in this deck. So with the new Master Rule, with Master Rule 5, the versatility of this deck has become much better. But I've playtested this deck, you know, originally with Felgrand, I played him with Blue Eyes White Dragon. When we got the new Blue Eyes Dragon support back in 2000, I think it was 16. It's been a couple of years now. And when that support came out and the Felgrand structure that came out, I pretty much combined them, as you guys know. And some people out there still run Felgrand as a tech option in their Blue Eyes decks, which is perfectly fine. It's still a great card. But after, you know, playing that deck for a long time and going through different variations and changes, Felgrand eventually got dropped out of the deck. And, you know, he's been sitting in my binder until about February. When I'm going through my binder, I'm like, oh, Felgrand, I remember you. And I'm like, I want to build a deck around you again. It's been a long time. So I started working on this deck and constructing this deck in March. Been playtesting it, and it's been very fun to play with. So yeah, let's get into the deck profile, guys. So first off, we run our 3 Felgrand, Divine Dragonlord Felgrand. We run him as a 3-of in the deck. In addition to him, we run 3 Arcbrave. I've always wished Arcbrave was a level 3 in the deck. Arcbrave Dragon, I really wish you were a level 8. But, you know, enough time has passed. I've come to terms with it. But he's still a great card. He's that pretty much Monster Reborn-esque card for the deck. Felgrand is really nice. Level 8. Great card. Pretty decent effect. Even by today's standards, it's pretty good. But he helps you go for level 8s. So, that's the ratio we run of these guys. Like I said, the two things keep in mind: fusion plays, level 8 Exceed plays. That's how this deck functions. So 2 Felgrand. Alright, next we run 3 Dragon Knight of Creation. This guy is really nice in the deck. The fact that he's a dragon and a normal summonable dragon does come to play with Red MD once in a while. I will mention that as an aside. But he's mainly here to help go for level 8s, which is nice to do. And he's just a decent card overall to have in the deck as a 2-of. Also, he's a light attribute, which it does comes into play. So overall, great card, 2-of. You could run I think it's Felgrand Paladin, the other card that came in the structure deck. But at the end of the day, I decided to run 2 of this instead of that. So this is not a pure Felgrand deck. This is a Felgrand Shaddoll deck, so you have to keep that in mind. Like I said earlier, 1 Red MD. He's not banned. He's not back to back to 3-of. So we still run him in this deck because he's awesome. And another dragon support card we run is a Morphix Goliath. A Morphix Goliath is amazing in this deck because he pretty much can shut down your opponent's extra deck. And he's very easy to go for turn 1. So what you can easily do is set up a combo board of maybe Shaddoll Fusions, level 8s, and then you drop their Morphix Goliath, you know, on your turn combo and then pass turn. There's even instances where I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm going first. I don't have the greatest of hand. I'll just sit on a Morphix Goliath, pass to my opponent. They look at me and say, I can't do anything. They do maybe set a card, put some back row, pass back to you, and then you can go off and do whatever you want to pretty much from there. So a Morphix Goliath is really nice because he is a big body. He's 2,750, that 50 extra attack. So he's very nice in the deck. He's great for combo plays. He's great for level 8 plays, which you can do for him because he is a level 8. He's great for stunning your opponent. Just an amazing card to have in the deck overall. And Red MD, we still run a Red MD. He hasn't been hit. Nothing's happened to him, so we'll continue to run him. In addition to that, I run Galaxy Spiral Dragon and Nebular Dragon. So Galaxy Spiral Dragon, I was trying out as a 2-of. I decided to cut it down to 1-of. Nebular Dragon, I was thinking about running this card as a 2-of, and it wasn't until very recently that I decided to cut him down to a 1-of. These cards are pretty much in the deck for level 8, to help you go for level 8 Exceed plays. They work very well in the deck. They are Dark and Light attribute, which sometimes plays a role in some of the deck's combos. But for the most part, they're there to help go Precipitate and go forward with level 8 Exceed plays. So I like them in the deck overall. They're really nice. You could run multiples of them if you want to, but I decided to run them as one-ofs because the deck is very tight for space to some degree. In addition to that, we run one Blackluster Collapse Serpent and one White Dragon Wyvern. This is something I've run into the deck for a while now. Initially, I wasn't running it, but because this deck has a lot of light and darks in it, like a lot, even though these cards are at 1 apiece right now, currently on the ban list, I still like it in the deck, and it's worked out pretty well overall. We'll have to see if it comes back eventually. If it does, maybe I'd play around with the ratios, but so far I like it as a one-of and one-of in the deck. Like, it's pretty nice to have, like, the different plays you can do with them. Next, for your Shaddoll engine, we run one Beast, which helps you draw stuff, one Dragon, which helps you pop stuff, one Falco, because it brings back Construct, who is Bay, but he reborns your Shaddolls, one Aria, which helps you get banished Shaddolls back, and also one Windy, which helps you special summon Shaddolls from the main deck. This is something I've been playing around with the Shaddoll engine pretty much. You could try different ratios if you want to. Personally, I was originally running Windy as a 2-of instead of Aria. Then I've gone back to running Aria and one Windy because of combo plays and the different things you could do. So this is the ratio of the Shadoll monsters that I'm running in the deck, and overall I've really liked it, and it's worked out pretty well. Next up, I run one Chaos Dragon Levenier. The reason I decided to run Levenier instead of BLS and things of that nature is, number one, you run this card works amazingly well in this deck, like overall. It's a level 8, which means you can use it for level 8 plays to help be a level 8 Precipitator in different combo plays, which is nice. Also just has some good effects overall, and you run a lot of light and darks. Plus he's a dragon. That's awesome. That means you can use him for other things too. So yeah, definitely a staple one-of in the deck. You could run 2 of it if you want to, but I like it just in there in the deck because it's really easy to set up for light and darks engrave. Next, 3 Return of the Dragonlords. This is pretty much the most busted card in the original structure deck. I remember back in the day when people thought this card should be banned or should be limited to 1. That never happened. They thought Blue Eyes was too powerful, and because it topped Worlds, it must be hit like every other deck that's topped Worlds. Thank you, Konami, for not doing that. But 3 Return of the Dragonlords. This helps out so much with your deck. We're bringing back Felgrand, for bringing back other cards, like also bringing back things like Felgrand, Arcbrave. The list goes on and on of cards you can reborn with this, so definitely a staple 3 of in the deck. In addition to that, for other spells we run 3 Trade-In. Initially, I was running this as a 2-of, and then I decided to run it as a 3-of because it's a great draw engine. Some decks, depending upon the deck, I will run this Trade-In as a 2-of, but after playtesting, I bumped this up to 3-of because you run a good amount of level 8s and it gives you draw power. Plus, a lot of those dragons, you would rather have them engraved to set up and then draw into cards that help you combo off. So 3 Trade-In in the deck at the end of the day for consistency. I've really liked it. 3 Shaddoll Fusion. It's pretty straightforward. This is a Shaddoll deck. You run 3 of that. Helps you go into all your Shaddoll Fusion plays. In addition to that, we run a lot of other fusion cards. So we run 3 El Shaddoll Fusion, which helps you go for more of your Shaddoll Fusions. And in addition to that, I'll move this down so you guys can see better, we also run 2 Super Polymerization. 3 Super Polymerization, forgive me. So these are all the fusions we run. Now, when it comes to Super Polymerization, there's things you could run in the extra deck. If you want to take out cards, play around with the ratio, maybe you want to run Mud Dragon, maybe you want to run other cards. That's up to you. But this mainly is going to help you go for your Shaddoll fusions, and in addition to that, just help you go for things like Venom Dragon if you need to. So it's up to you, the ratios you want to play, but 3 Shaddoll Fusion, 3 El Shaddoll Fusion, and 3 Super Poly in the deck. It works out pretty well overall. Like I said, you can play around with the fusions that you want to run, though, in the deck and the ratio of those fusions. That's up to you. Next, I run double Dragon Shrine and one Foolish Burial. You want to set up in your graveyard as soon as possible, and this helps you do that. So double Dragon Shrine, one Foolish. Foolish helps you do with a lot of different combo plays, but overall it's really awesome. And Dragon Shrine helps you set up in grave because it's another type of Foolish Burial. So instead of running 3 Dragon Shrine, I like this ratio better. In addition to that, we run some other spells. So we run Upstart Goblin to add a little consistency to the deck, and one Monster Reborn as well. Because you're sending things to multiple things to the graveyard, you can reborn them back and then use them for combos, beat sticks, whatever. So that's the spells. We run no traps in the deck because we don't have the space, but we do run some good fusion monsters. So let's get to the extra deck now. We run our Dark Magician Girl. We run for our level 8s. We run one Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. I'm not a fan of the Ghost Rare, but I do like the Ultimate Rare. So I've had this one for years. We run one number 38 Hope Harbinger. We run the Galaxy package, which is really awesome. So we run Galaxy Cypher, Full Armor, Galaxy Ice Cypher Blade Dragon. So this is the Galaxy Eyes package, we call it. These are pretty much your main level 8s you're going to go for. They're pretty much some of the best level 8s in the game. They're really nice. Divine Dragon Felgrand, you have to run it. It's a Felgrand deck, and it's pretty nice too. For your fusions, which we run 3 Construct. I do have one Ulti Construct. I have the other Ulti in my Shaddoll deck, which I need a profile eventually. We have 3 Construct right here. I'll move those over a little bit for you guys. So 3 Construct. We also run, in addition to all this, we run double Winda, which is really nice to have in the deck. We also run one Shikanaga and one El Shaddoll. I can never pronounce the fishy guy who came out of the Structure Deck's name, but we run one of him. And also one Starving Venom Dragon. Like I said, this is a super poly target. If you want to run Mud Dragon, if you want to run other things, go right ahead. But these are all pretty much super poly targets for the most part. So, yeah. In addition to that, we run some other cards. We run things like Predaplant, the Predaplant Anaconda, and also one Cross Sheep, because this is a fusion-related deck, and these both work in the deck. Some people like double Cross Sheep. That's okay. That's up to you. But this is the ratio I've been running, and it's been working out pretty well. So, that's the deck in a nutshell, guys. I hope you all enjoy it. I know I went a little bit quickly through it, but because it's a lot of these cards are meta-relevant, they're pretty much well-known, so to speak. I feel like I don't need to spend a lot of time on them as much as I would maybe a deck that's more from scratch and is not as well-known. So, yeah. This deck is really fun. Like, I think you could take this deck, guys, and probably, take it to locals and actually have some fun with it. Like, it's one of those type of decks where I actually feel like I could say that. You could take this to locals and possibly top locals. There are different cards you can try out in the deck if you want to play around with your ratios and everything. I would talk about some of these that I have to the side of me that I kept out just in case to talk about. You could run, Restore Shaddoll Incarnate as a 1-of in the deck. This is a possible 1-of in the deck. There are things like you could run Call by the Grave, which is a great card you could possibly run because you don't want to get hand trapped. That's an option. You could main deck it. You could side deck it. It's up to you. Depending upon your matchup, I find the card is good in some matchups and not as good in other matchups. So definitely run that in your side deck. This deck works very well. It's a very fun deck. I definitely think you could top this deck at locals, maybe even do very good at a regionals, maybe top, possibly. But I definitely think as a local deck, this is a deck that can definitely top at locals. It's that good of a deck. The fact that you have the ability to go for level 8s and some powerful level 8s, the fact that you can go for these powerful fusions, it's really a fun deck. That's really awesome. You just have to watch out for hand traps, and you should be fine. So, yeah, guys. Till next time, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling to all of you. Hope you all enjoy this deck profile. If you did, please leave a thumbs up down below, and I'll see all of you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Good luck dueling to all of you.